Hey everyone, something a little bit different today. I'm going to be breaking down Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa today. Why? Because, I think he'll always be tied to the Chargers and Justin Herbert. He was the guy the Dolphins took instead of Herbert. Were they wrong? It's obviously far too early to tell, but undeniably Herbert has been the better quarterback, and nowhere was this more apparent than on Sunday when Tua got benched against the Broncos, which is a team that, Herbert did light up like a Christmas tree. Although he did throw two interceptions, his only two pick game of the season, and that was against Denver. Now, full disclosure, I had Tua ranked over Herbert pre-draft. I just think his decision making, his accuracy, and his anticipation were far better than what Herbert displayed his final year. Obviously, Herbert has the physical tools, and he didn't have the injury concerns, but I still like those things far more with Tua, and that's why I had ranked him higher. Since I've never posted anything about Tua to this channel, I just want to take a moment just to talk about his first few games before I get into his game against the Broncos. I thought the decision to bench Fitzpatrick, oh my goodness, was really odd. I understand wanting to move forward with your rookie quarterback, but that was a risky move. And the strange thing is they had Tua come in against the Rams and he ran the most simple offense, catch and throw, one read, which is fine. He's a rookie. I just don't know why they thought those plays were going to take them over the top, but thankfully special teams and defense, helped them win that game. And then he plays the Cardinals and has an excellent game. What a baller. He was in full control and dominated. And then he gets to play the Chargers and has a questionable game. Some good throws early on, but kind of a disappearing act after that. He should have had 3 interceptions in that game. So now you get to the Broncos game, and here are my initial thoughts. Some of them I have film attached to. One, the Dolphins' offensive line was terrible. They had the second worst pass blocking efficiency rating in week 11 and allowed 5 sacks. That's undeniable. No matter what, you can't help your quarterback. You're a terrible offensive line. It's going to be a rough day. Two, and this is kind of concerning, but even with their terrible offensive line, the Dolphins coaching staff forgot to move the pocket or roll out Tua or do something other than make him a statue. This is something I hated the Chargers for in week 1 because they watched all that Tyrod Taylor film and thought that having him as a, pass 30 something times as a pocket passer was a genius move. I'm not saying Tua is a rollout kind of guy, but he's shown it before. I'm showing it right here. They run similar plays, not as frequent as, they probably should have against the Broncos. So bad line, and no help from the play calls. And the next thing is that they just didn't have a run game and they were missing their deep threat, Preston Williams. I don't know if he's considered a deep threat by Miami fans, but he was targeted deep a couple of times in each game by Tua and was very successful against the Cardinals. So this makes it really rough on Tua. And the fourth and final thing, which, this is kind of where we need to begin and where it will mostly end. The accuracy just isn't there. This game, I guess, in particular, which is surprising. Many critics said, he'll need great receivers, and, that's why he was so good. And yeah, that's part of it. You have great receivers, of course it'd be better. But if I'm playing football at the beach and Calvin Johnson is my receiver, but I throw it 5 yards wide of him every time, it doesn't matter. Tua is an accurate quarterback, and he just wasn't on Sunday. So the first two plays of the sequence already reference a bit of what I discussed a moment ago. That's a lack of Preston Williams and inaccuracy. And, I don't think these are slam dunk easy throws, by the way, but these are this is his first couple of passes. And you just start to see that something is a little bit off this game. By the way, I have, I think, 10 or so plays here, so I'm not going to sit here and go over every single one of them. So if you want to discuss them in greater detail, please leave a comment and I'd be happy to. So here's one of, I believe, the only 2 plays of that half where Tua is allowed to move outside the pocket. This actually ends up with a Denver penalty. So the interception doesn't count, but it highlights one of my concerns with Tua, and that's poor decisions on extended plays. So I'm going to Adobe Premiere here, trying to multitask. Let's get this going. He sometimes will just flat out miss guys and throw picks. And you can watch him, I believe, versus I think it was Tennessee, extend, and throw an interception to the left into the end zone, to a defender, like the defender was the intended target. And I'm going to reference this extension and poor decision aspect a little bit later. All right, so here's a quick break from criticism. Tua's only touchdown of the day. Great throw, great catch. Yay. Okay, back to misery. So the next one is a pretty simple design from the Dolphins, and the Chargers do this a lot with Jalen Guyton. Sorry, I don't know your Dolphins receivers and numbers, so just bear with me. They're going to have one man both get in the way of a Broncos defender and then take another one deep to clear a space for Tua to hit another receiver. And unfortunately, Tua just flat out misses. Again, this isn't a receiver's issue. This is an accuracy issue. The next one's a rough. It's pretty rough because he has a guy wide open up top here. You'll see it up here in a moment. Throw it now. Throw it now. Throw it now. Look, his arms up. Throw it now. Throw it now. Throw it now. Sacked. I believe he was sacked at least on that play. I mean, that's a huge 30-yard gain or more right there. This next play, there just really isn't anything there. Credit Denver, by the way, because they did play an excellent game. Sometimes, the opposing team is paid to do their job, and they do it very well. So this is really just a coverage sack. Again, Denver ate him up. Denver played a great game. I don't think they were this good. The Chargers really actually just bullied the Denver Broncos, particularly in the run game. And the Dolphins just, nobody really showed up. And that's the thing. Nobody really showed up for Tua today. Yeah, Tua had his misses, but no one really showed up either. So here's the second play. They tried rolling Tua out, and there was just nothing there. Again, the Broncos just played well. Sometimes you just have to give credit to the opposing team. And then the Dolphins try to set up a screen here, but the Broncos sniff it out and take everything away. Bad play, poor execution, just doesn't work. Good job. Good job by the Broncos. Now this one I believe is on third down. So throwing to the receiver on the 10, you'll see in a moment. Probably doesn't get you that first, but a sack doesn't help really. Doesn't really help anyone either. Tua just misses this guy. I mean, he doesn't see him, which is particularly odd since he's a lefty. I'm going the wrong way. Look, I'm new, all right? Yeah, he just misses a guy. He's a lefty. So if anything, he should be someone that he can find no problem. Is it a bit risky? Do you not want to throw the pick six here? Sure. But I think you have plenty of space to make this work. And who could make it work? Justin Herbert with his, star destroyer of an arm. Again, I don't think this is a very difficult throw, but Herbert would make this no problem. Even if the defender was closer, I think Herbert would be able to force this in. Piece of cake. And then on this play, he's just harassed. You can tell that, yeah, Tua is, not playing super well, but Denver is just playing very, very well this game and really made it tough on him. So whether Fitzpatrick came in, or they left into it would have been a rough game for either guy. I didn't watch the second half. I don't know how Fitzpatrick did, but obviously they didn't score a whole lot more points. So I don't think it was all that great. And he's just harassed. And, there's nothing really you can do here. And Denver, for the last few plays, has just been smelling blood. And, Miami just couldn't stop him. Okay, on this final play is the one that I referenced earlier when discussing play extensions and poor decisions. If you're an Alabama fan, or if you're someone who's at least studied Tua, you know what I'm about to say. And that's that. Well, what I'm about to say is that I can't freaking rewind on this thing. Anyway, look, Tua doesn't get hit here. I know that, but boy, a Broncos defender got really close to his ankles, and Tua just has this habit. I know this isn't really a knock on his game overall. Yeah, it goes down as a sack, but I believe he gets down to back to the line of scrimmage for that 0-yard sack. He just has a habit of extending a play and getting himself hurt. You can't play scared football, and obviously Tua didn't get hit. We didn't get hurt here, so he knows the situation and his body better than I do. But it just has me worried because he's been severely injured multiple times on plays just like this. I mean, I believe, both his plays, one where I think it was a ankle issue and then definitely the hip dislocation. That guy grabs his ankle, he trips, falls, the defender lands on him and, busts his hip again. I mean, that's it. We just had Joe Burrow go down on a freak accident, and you just hate for Tua to go down, for that, particularly because that was, such a big concern of his, or that, that fans and teams had for Tua, is the injuries. You'd hate to see him go down because of just extending a play like that and, getting 0 yards out of it. All right. So sorry, Dolphins fans. I know that wasn't super fun. If you want to watch a real quarterback, go watch Justin Herbert.